Hello, friends. You may have seen our recent video with Elia, the moneyless monk, who came through and stayed with us for a little while. And there's a lot of wisdom that he shared. Wisdom is this funny thing that often we feel like we can acquire it through books or hearsay. But when we go out and we do something that's really outside the normal way of doing things, or we have various experiences in life, we often acquire wisdom in a much deeper way through that personal experience. And it's very interesting to note how often when our mind encounters something that could be wisdom, because it sounds outside of our paradigm, and wisdom usually is, often our mind will jump right away to judgment and say, this can't be anything. And so we rob ourselves of something there. Because if we stop and we really think about it and go deep into it before we allow our mind to go into judgment mode, sometimes we discover something. Something that he said was that he and his cousin had soft wishes for what was going to happen next in their adventure. And this is a kind of wisdom that often we won't find in life because it is so against our normal paradigm. And see, we're taught to look out ahead in life, to choose something that we want. It might be a career, might be a person, might be a personal goal, and then to strive for that with everything we have. Now, it's an interesting thing for us to do because there's a lot of evidence, even in your personal life, I'd wager, that we are very lousy predictors of what will actually make us happy in the future. It might be, again, a person that we think, oh my gosh, I have to marry that person. That's the person of my dreams. And we go after them with everything we have. Often it doesn't turn out quite the way that we thought it would. And so we think that we're going to achieve some sort of happiness by going after this thing. But then we discover, there's more to the story. There's a video, who knows what is good or bad, that kind of sums up this thought. The soft wishes, however, do something different for us. And it's kind of amazing what they do. The idea of a soft wish is that I look forward and I say, I really want this thing. But I want it softly. And in wanting it softly, I'm open to lots of versions of that thing. When I do this, I still can strive for things. Doesn't mean my striving has to go and I have to just say, oh, whatever shall be, shall be. Instead, I can go after things. I can have that fun of the search and the quest and the adventure. But because I am wishing softly for these things, then I am more open to achieving happiness in many different ways, instead of only the one narrowly defined way that my mind wanted to put me onto that single track from which there could be no deviation. And it's even more than that, because soft wishing opens the door to a different level of awareness. When I look at somebody and I say, that must be the person that I spend the rest of my life with, then my mind gets into a very narrow track and I'm only able to see certain things. In fact, my mind will start to filter information. So I will see that person do something that I may morally be pretty strongly against, but because I'm so fixated on them, my mind will give that very little importance. It will put very little weight upon it. However, if I'm wishing softly, I'm going after this person, but I'm doing it recognizing that this might not be the person for me, recognizing that I'm not very good at predicting what will happen in this organic, messy, chaotic situation that is life, and that person may not be who I think they are right at this moment. Then I'm observing. I'm taking in a broader picture. I see more. I have a deeper level of awareness. And that, oddly, gives me a better chance of finding happiness. Because I'm not going to marry someone, for instance, that I'm going to look back in hindsight and say, what was I thinking? Because I saw early on that they were kicking puppies all the time and had no compassion in them. So this is the soft wishing. It's powerful in so many levels because it reshapes this basic idea about striving after things blindly. It calls us to awareness. It calls us to exploring the world with more curiosity. And again, it still allows us to be on that adventure of going after the things we want. So notice today, are there places where you are wishing really hard on something? You really want it to turn out a certain way. And what happens if you wish softly upon that? If you carry on forward, going after that thing, but saying, I'm going to go after this thing, but I know it might not be exactly what I'm looking for. I know that I might not be seeing the whole picture. Then I start to wonder what's waiting for me. I become more adventurous. It's fun. This is a way to prevent a lot of pain in our lives. It's a way to live with more adventurous spirit and more a sense of fun. And it's a way to just heighten our mindfulness and our awareness, to wish softly. Let me know in the comments your thoughts on this. Are there things right now you're wishing really hard for? Have you achieved soft wishing? What does that look like for you? Love to you all, my friends. I'll talk with you soon.